So we'll be building a spot for our trash bins to go. First though, we need to cut down a tree, remove a bunch of dirt, put in our fence posts, and then eventually we'll be setting paving stones, charring some cedar, and putting up a privacy fence. Let's get to it. Welcome to HD Workshop Company, where every project helps build something bigger. I'm Mel. Join me each week as we build Havy's dream. Okay, so that's done. Now clean this up, get these bushes removed, and hopefully we can get to starting to dig. Okay, so our next steps are going to be really to get that mulch off the top layer. I'm going to put it on another flower bed that could probably use some extra mulch. It's only a year old, so I really don't want to throw it away. And then I'll probably start hand digging along where they've located the utility at least here in my location. And as far as I could tell, it's not super precise. I think you have 18 to maybe 36 inches of where they've marked that utility could be located, in this case the gas line. So I'm just going to use a little hand trowel and go slow and make sure that when I do locate it, I'm not causing any damage, and also I'm well aware of my speed, my rate, and my strength as I'm digging down. You don't want to use any type of mechanical assist like an auger or a backhoe, definitely not. This is just hand digging only. It's the old-fashioned way, and doing that will make sure that there's no damage to the line and we're working safe. So I found like some very fine gravel, fine almost sand mixture, and on top of it's a yellow caution flag. The yellow is typically what's used to denote, at least in the US, a gas line when it comes to utilities, underground utilities anyway. And I'll show you what I mean. Take a look. You can see that caution tape there. It's running perpendicular right about where that flag is. So they're pretty darn close. I still want to put my physical eyes on the gas line. I don't really want to disturb it, but I want to make sure that it's running just like that. Because what I'll do after that is I'll go ahead and I'll take some spray paint and a straight edge, and I'll just follow along there and I'll mark it. And what I can do at that point is I can dig that out by hand till I get to where it's marked at, and the rest I can actually get with a shovel back there. It's also great news because I need to dig a post hole, and it's not right in the way, but I'm going to be close, and I need to make sure that at the end of the day I'm not disturbing that gas line in any way, shape, or form. I really don't want to have to call the fire department or the utilities out because I didn't take my time, I didn't pay attention to what was going on, and I caused an issue. I also don't want to pay for it. That stuff gets pricey real fast. Okay guys, let me get down here and get a close-up and show you what I'm talking about. You can see this yellow caution tape. Here's that fine, it's not a pea gravel, but it's a very thick, coarse sand. And what I'd really like to do, I don't want to disturb the gas line, and I'm almost 95% certain that it's under that caution tape. I'd really like to put my eyes on it. I'd really like to know for a fact, without a doubt, that that's exactly where it is before I move into a larger spade type shovel. So we'll get back to it, and wish me luck. Okay guys, I've been digging it out by hand now, and I'm about 2 feet off the grade and about a foot below where that line is. I don't know if you can see that, but I just keep going by hand, and I would at least like to feel it and just know that's where it's at more than anything else. It's just that extra peace of mind, because I've got all this still yet to do, and I don't want to do it with that little hand trowel. So we'll just get back to it and keep plugging away. Alright, so it's another beautiful Saturday morning. There's not really anything left to do except get in and get the shovel and finish digging this out. I think today I really want to get the hole finished dug. I also really need to get the post holes dug. We've got 2 post holes to dig, and it's going to have to be by hand for the one closest to that gas line. I also was thinking yesterday driving home that I haven't accounted for space to actually walk up, open the lids, because they'll be facing the side of the house from the trash cans, and put trash or recycles in it. And so I'm thinking I'm going to have to remeasure, recalculate how much space I actually need. So we've got 30 inches wide by, call it 34 inches in length. I'm just going to measure this hole real quick. We're looking for 90 inches wide and a minimum of 34 inches in length. But what I'm really going to do is just go all the way from the existing pavers to the foundation of the garage. It's going to be way more than 36 inches or 34 inches. But at the end of the day, I really don't want to deal with weeds getting in behind it, anything like that coming back up where I'm going to struggle to get them out of there, or just have to do additional work throughout the year. So let's take a look. So 90 inches takes me back into those plants there. Still got a ways to go. I don't think that other light's something that I'm going to have to accommodate for, but I do think that I've got quite a bit of work still ahead of me. So let's get to it. Sometimes in life you just gotta follow the KISS principle. Since the Sawzall still has a blade in it, I think I'm just gonna get this out of the way and deal with the roots as they come. Well, that done with that. Look at that thing. I don't know if when they poured the foundation originally, they just had a big clump of rocks and thought, here's a good spot, or what the deal is, but holy cow, man. Oh. You guys, look at this nonsense. How's a man supposed to dig a hole with crap like this in the way? That's not even a pretty rock. We're close to 10 inches, so a little bit more, and then I can take out that center section and start leveling everything out and compacting it down. Well, that's a lie. Still got to dig 2 post holes. Good news, we're done for the day. The hole's pretty much dug. Bad news, there's still 2 post holes to dig, but that's a tomorrow problem. And then we'll level it out, and I keep going back and forth in my mind. Do I want to set the post holes and then the posts and cement them in? Or do I want to lay everything out and just have tubes sitting there waiting for the posts? the little cement, hollow cement tubes that you set down in the hole. I think I want to do the fence posts, cement them in place, and then actually start working on the pavers. So, last load of dirt for the day. You guys, check this out. I didn't realize how much dirt was moved. That's sitting at about 3 foot high. I hadn't expected that. I mean, I knew the dirt would, once it was broken up, I knew that once the dirt was broken up, that it was going to be a lot more than I thought it was, because it wasn't compacted anymore. But when I thought like a 10-inch deep hole, I was not expecting 3 foot by 5 foot by 5 foot pile. It's definitely a lot larger than my 10-inch deep, 90 wide, 48.
All right, we're back at it today. So today's game plan, we got to dig these post holes. We have to get about probably 28, maybe 30 inches down. We want enough for, we're going to be putting 6 foot posts into the ground for the Shou Sugi Ban fence to strap to. And so we want to get at least 2 feet down for the post, but then we need 4 to 6 inches of gravel underneath of it to help set a really good base and foundation, provide some drainage, all of that good jazz. We don't want, especially with the hollow posts, unlike wood, well, even with wood, you really want to use gravel, but we don't want any water just hanging out in that post. So we'll get that done. Level out the hole. We're looking for somewhere between 9 and 10 inches from the top. So we'll start leveling things out there. And then once we have that done, we'll probably go ahead and set the post. Got some concrete. It's only 2 posts. Mix it up, get it in, let it set so that they have a good curing time before we start the next phase. Let's get to it.
So, it's time to start digging the fence posts. Let's take a look at our distance here and figure out where exactly we want to place them. If you look there, we've got 5 feet from the base of the foundation to our existing pavers. Our fence posts are 2 3/8 inch, and I think what I want to do is probably go 8 inches in from each side. That'll give some overhang on the Shou Sugi Ban side of the house on each side. It'll also make, I think, probably digging and setting these a little bit easier. I won't have so much to worry about. So I'm going to mark that out real quick, and we're going to get digging. So, if you remember, from end to end, we want 90 inches of pavers. What that's going to look like is we're going to want to be right here, essentially, with with our posts. So we're going to have a little bit of gap in between. I'm really okay with that because at the end of the day, this mulch is going to build up over time. Especially, I'm not great at removing it every year. So really what I'll need to do is just get back in here, get the post set. It'll also, I think, make it a little bit easier. I have a post hole digger, but as we saw with the spade and the hand trowel, this is not easy soil to dig in, so let's do it. So you can see how those sides are collapsing right there. I was afraid of that, but that's really not the end of the world. It may just be easier to do this with a hand trowel, and then I can brace up with, I have a ton of planks left over from some pallets, so I can brace up and that'll allow me to still pour concrete. Let's try that, let's see where we get. Look at that nonsense. They're all like that. This may be as deep as she gets. I've got a couple, you can't really see it, but I've got a couple rocks in there that are just tangled up together like a Gordian knot. And if I can't get them out, that's as deep as it goes. Let's check and see where we're at. Well, we're at 27 inches. So that would give us 3 inches. At 27 inches, that would give us 3 inches of rock. And then our 2 foot would end right about here. You can kind of see it there. It's just literally right in the way, and it expands as it moves back. It's only a lot frustrating, but hey, what are you gonna do? Before I dug the first hole, I really should have staked it, lined it out, just so I could make sure that my holes are going to be in line and that they're square with the side of the house. If they're not, it's going to be really obvious. But I got excited to get the hole digging done, so what are you going to do? I'm going to go ahead and hammer in a stake in line with the first hole, and then I'll just bring it back to the side of the house here and get it as close to 90 as I can with just all I have is a small little speed square. So it should, in theory, get me close enough for government work. Fingers crossed. Don't want it to collapse the side of my hole, but that's what it's wanting to do because, of course, it's all rock down there. So just trying to get the string lined up with the speed square. Pretty close. Check it out real quick. Not horrible. So I'm okay with where that's at, and I'm going to call it good. So this area here. It's kind of our edge, and then we'll just dig this way. So. Well, we're at the 2 foot mark, so 6 inches more. Guys, we're almost at 29 inches. There's another rock in the way. Let's see where we're at, because I may call that good. We were at 9 before. If we're anything past that, I'm good with it. We made half an inch worth of progress, almost 3/4 of an inch worth of progress. I'm good with that. Okay, so the holes are done. Next up, we have to drop in the gravel, and we'll want to be 2 foot from our top line. I'll need to make sure that I line up some stakes again, this time hopefully without collapsing my hole, so that I can be level, or not level, but square with the walls, what I'm looking for, square with the exterior garage wall there. Once I've got that done, then I'm going to use those right there, and hopefully you've got a good view. It's just some leftover wood I have from some pallets I disassembled. And then I'm going to set my posts. We'll get them nice and square, we'll get them nice and level. And then it's set the concrete, and we're done with that piece. Next step will be laying the paver bed after that. So I'm excited, and let's get to it. So when I was in the concrete section at Home Depot, Quikrete had some gravel for the bottom, but it was 3 times the price of this drainage rack that was in the garden section. And I couldn't really tell a difference between the two just looking through the bag. And at the end of the day, all I really needed to do is let water drain. So, 1/3 of the price, and who knows, it'll probably be just fine. Yeah, this will be just fine. Look at this. there's nothing wrong with using that. I mean, this looks more decorative than anything, but a third of the price, I'm not going to complain. You're supposed to have 4 inches of gravel, technically, I think, for these corrugated steel fence posts. That rock was in the way, so there's no way I'm going to get 4 inches in there. But 3 inches should be fine. The main goal is I'm using galvanized steel, and you don't want water hanging out in the center of that tube. You want to give it a spot to drain out of. So, with any luck, 3 inches will be just enough. Although, quite honestly, with this clay, it retains moisture so well that I'm not sure how well it's going to drain. I mean, I'm hoping pretty decent, but who knows. I wanted to go with the aluminum, but the aluminum, quite frankly, wasn't available or in stock. I'd have to special order it, and I didn't really feel like waiting for it. So I went with the corrugated steel. It's supposed to last 30 to 50 years. In some areas, 70, although I'm guessing that's like maybe the southwest, very dry, southwest United States. So who knows? Let's see where we're at. There we go, huh? Okay. Alright, that's the rock. Now let's start getting things lined up so that we can sink our posts. I want to have the end of my stake 2 1/4 inches back from the edge of that hole. And that's where my rope line is going to be, or my string line. And then that'll, once I string out the other stake, that will allow me to keep things at least in line with each other as I'm setting them. Let's take a look. Now, these bricks aren't the greatest to be going off of, but from the top, it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to go with it. The next thing is setting them in place. We're going to get them level and plumb before we do the concrete, and then we'll do any final leveling once the concrete's in. I've got a fast setting, so there's a lot of different ways that they say you can do this. You can build some bracing up with 2x4s. You can do all kinds of stuff. I was going to use that scrap wood I had, and then I really don't want to scratch these posts. So what I decided is I'm going to use stakes and packing tape, since I have some gunk that I'm going to have to remove from these anyway, from the stickers kind of up here. So since I'm going to have to get the goof off out anyway, I may as well just go all in, do it with some packing tape, and see how it works. I'll let you know. So, something tells me, had I just made some framing for it, it would have been a heck of a lot easier. But let's see how well I can get it level. I'm just going to use this little post level. That's pretty close. Take a look here. Kind of see. I'm not looking to be super perfect with it right now. Once the concrete goes in, I want to do some final leveling. But let's see what we can do on this next one. Okay. No. Closer. We are closer. A little bit more. Okay. I like it. Let's see how things look after that. Okay, let's make some concrete. tell you right off the bat, 100% did not need these janky forms. Okay. Boom. Look at that, baby. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. Right level. That's exactly what I wanted.
So how are we doing on budget? Let's start with tools. That post and pipe level we bought was $5.97. Our post hole digger, because I didn't have one, was $49.97, and the I-beam level was $42.87. This was a total of $98.91 just on the tools for this project. Our materials, we had the grade stakes, which was a 12-pack. They were $8.98. Our black fence post caps were $9.94 for 2 of them, and for 2 of the corner fence posts, they were $65.94 total. A 50-pound bag of concrete cost us $7.97, and a half cubic foot of drainage rock cost us $6.97, for a total of $99.80. So far, we've spent a total of $198.71. Out of our budget of $500, that leaves us with $301.29 for our paving stones and our cedar wood. We also have to buy a torch. So fingers crossed, we're going to come in on budget. We'll see. All right, so what did I learn from this part of the project? First and foremost, I learned that a shovel will tell you real quick whether you're in shape or out of shape. I definitely fall into the out of shape category. The second thing that I learned, 100% stake everything out before you start digging. It's just a pain to try to get things lined up after you've already made your hole, trying to find a good spot to put the stake that's going to allow you to stay within what you measured. It made this project a lot more challenging. The third thing is spring for a homer bucket. Plain and simple, mixing that cement in the recycle bin, the empty recycle bin I had, was definitely a chore. Cleanup was a chore. Just not worth it, right? I saved $2 and cost myself 20 minutes additional work. Outside of that, not a ton of other pieces there. I did find it really interesting how we level and set fence posts. That was the first time I did that. That fence post level square that we got was a lifesaver, and that thing was really inexpensive. I think it was a couple dollars. So that's what we learned on this one. I'm really looking forward to the next piece of this where we're laying our paving stones and getting those all lined out. So we'll see you then.